Well, I guess we should actually like start the podcast, huh?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I thought y'all had started at first because it was recording. I'm like, dang,
we
no,
didn't
we want to start the practice of just pressing record when we get on, because we'll end up having funny conversations that never actually make it to the airwaves. And so
true.
Can't look in the eyes of my brother without shedding a tear.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the InforMILLy podcast. Be informal around here, so we'll start a podcast 25 minutes into it. And yeah, in case it's your first time joining us.
Sorry.
In case your first time joining us, we are four brothers from the middle neighborhood of Gary, Indiana, who pride ourselves in every conversation we have, every connection we make, and every time we engage one another to be forthright, vulnerable, and most of all, honest. So, fellas, before we start the podcast, Aaron brought up this hilarious thing. I won't say hilarious. I won't set it up that poorly. He brought up a quaintly funny thing.
It was a mediocre. It was a mediocre comment on my part.
No, because it was like, it was hilarious, and then we talk about it. It ain't that funny.
I feel that.
But no.
Be our lowest rating episode.
It proved not to be funny at all.
What's some shit that you used to do, or words you used to say? We talk about slang that you used to get in trouble for. A-Dub talked about. You could tell what you brought up, A-Dub.
Yeah, things like ain't, or like I be, or I'm finna do this. She was like, you finna take your ass back downstairs and lock the door, because you ain't going nowhere with your friends tonight talking like that, motherfucker. You ain't going nowhere. And like a lot of it was like, because eventually I sat down with her. It was like when we both were adults and she respected me as such. So, you can have those conversations where it's like, yo, why did you do that? Because some part of me understood, of course, like, you want to, like, it really was just like, I wanted to make sure the difference, and like, how to talk both ways. Like, how to talk, air quotes, the right way for like research papers. You can't be using certain shit in a fucking research paper or like an interview. Because that's what I'm saying, dude. I was surprised when I would look at some people's papers and see that they use words like ain't and finna and all these things. Like, yo, it's in your bloodstream. It's in your blood, yo. Holy shit. So like my aunt was very big on like making sure we knew the difference, and part of that was her way of like, So 12 months of grounding was her way of making sure that I knew the difference. There was not an easier way, apparently. There wasn't.
I can't understand when people.
Popo told Rosa, "You finna get off this bus," and so Rosa said, "No, the hell I ain't." And
yes. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but like she, it'd be like 2 weeks of punishment at a time, and finally I was just like, well, shit. Yes, ma'am. I will go and I will go and retrieve such things that you wish for. Whatever you wish, I shall do. Like, at some point, it was like, damn, you just stop talking and you do what she asked you to do.
Start wearing tuxedos.
Yeah, dude. I'm fucking tipping my hat to her in the morning, y'all. Oh shit.
Oh man. Well, I know a big one. Two big ones for me. I was telling y'all. One was mines, because it wasn't until later on in life I figured out that mine is already possessive, and so the S or apostrophe S became unnecessary, because every other goddamn word that I need to put in possession needs that goddamn apostrophe S. And so it was mine, and I apparently me and Aaron discovered I've had an aversion to hard ERs my whole life, because I don't know that I've ever really said her. I have to like concentrate to say her. I've been saying her forever, and
that's a regional thing too, though.
I think that's isn't it a regional thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Because my mom would really get on my case about like it's like hey ma, she asked for you, who, her over there. And then, she was not a fan of the hus.
And when he first said it, I thought he was saying, like H-U-H with the question mark, because I would hit my aunt. I'd be playing a video game and she'd say, time to eat. And I say huh like 7 times, and finally by the 8th one, she knew I was fucking around. Just pause that fucking game, bring your ass. Once again, I was grounded, but you know what you're gonna do, man. We gotta live and learn somehow.
Yeah, it's funny. That made me think, like, because we kind of had talked about some of this beforehand, and I was starting to tell the story. Now I'll tell it. But anyway, so this happened probably. This had to be, I mean, maybe 20 years. I mean, 15, 17 years ago.
About how old were we?
Probably 12, 13. I mean,
Okay.
no older than 14. So, I mean, it was that age.
Gotcha.
So anyway, it was me and Josh. We were riding somewhere in a car with his mom. And, like, I don't remember where we were going, but I just know we were going somewhere. And, she was listening to like a comedy station. It was like satellite radio. So I don't know if it's Sirius or whatever, but, so I don't know who the guy was, but it was some white guy, I'm assuming from his voice. And he got on the subject of facials. And
I was about to make a joke about Bob Saget, rest in peace, but like that actually could be something that Bob Saget would say.
It could have been.
For sure.
So, and honestly, I don't know I don't know where the joke went or what the punchline was, but it was just funny because we knew where he was going with it, but we had to be like, it felt like if you laughed, it would have been like, but what you laughing at? Or like
why you know what he's talking about.
Yeah. But it was just silent. It was just completely silent. And it was like, it's like, man, it was so awkward and funny at the same time.
Yeah.
But
like, dude, to see that on screen, if we would have been, the viewers were able to see your situation on screen, it would have been hilarious. Like, those are the funniest when the ride is silent and you just hear the comic special just play out while everybody's quiet, intense the whole fucking time.
While the audience is
sitcom writer is still
yeah, that's great.
Some sitcom writer is stealing this joke right now, but I like it is literally. I'm glad we were old enough to know that was a trap.
Yeah,
because knowing my mom, she heard the setup, she'd have turned it off.
Yeah,
but she was like, "Nah, I know this." Go ahead.
No, I'm saying because if she turns, it's gonna be like, it just would have been like, well, this is something that they shouldn't hear, and now they're gonna be curious about what that was. So it was almost like a psychological match. Is like, do we laugh or do we not laugh? Because that's gonna reveal that we know. Yeah. And she's like, if I turn, that's gonna reveal that this is something they shouldn't be listening to, and that's gonna make them curious. Dude, and it's gotta be psychological.
Yeah, and if y'all would have laughed, it would have been game. Blousy.
Yeah.
If you change the radio station, you admitting to what they talking about.
Yeah.
That's great,
man.
That's great.
Marco, how about you? You got anything that you weren't allowed to say with your parents?
I wasn't allowed to. Well, they like linguistically, like they didn't really enforce probably a little bit, but I think my parents like realized like like sometimes I don't talk like 100% proper, but like they know, like Aaron was saying, she was just trying to see that you know how to actually flip that switch or whatever.
Yeah.
But like like to Adam point, like I remember times we'll be like watching movies, and that would be the time where it's like it's acceptable like to to hear that type of stuff just because it's in that form, which I never really understood totally, but it was cool to hear something vulgar and just like look over at at my parents and just like see if you want to laugh or like see how you gonna. But I think like when you watching a movie, like people tend to let their guards down more than they would if it was like just somebody joking with you, because I guess, the respect of the art form or whatever. But I always found that funny, like when we were watching movies, to see how they would react. because I remember just laughing because like this is my escape. Like I know we not saying this stuff around the house or whatever. So it was just I just remember that the uncomfortableness with when we would watch movies and stuff. But
I wish
it would kind of break the ice though,
I wish it was like that. My mom's was like mad protective over stuff in movies if she thought it was going to be explicit or anything like that.
Well, yeah,
as far as imagery was concerned.
Yeah, I
words she didn't care.
I think my parents was the same. And granted, we wasn't watching no like crazy stuff with my parents.
Nah.
But it was just a little more looser than usual,
Nah, because I remember like what was it? Whenever for some reason I remember watching The Fifth Element like multiple times with my family and whatnot.
Oh boy, I did too.
And I remember not funny enough, not the scene where she's being wrapped in bandages and you can see her little fingertip nipples poking up. But
hey, y'all need to put those motherfuckers on a menu because I'll buy for sure.
Hilarious.
For sure. I'll buy it. Yeah, I'm good. I don't need a full one always.
The final scene where Lulu and Bruce Willis are in the tube.
Yeah.
She would always think that something sexual was about to happen and she would make me avert my eyes. Mind you, when I got old enough to finally just watch it on my own or whatever and saw that nothing was fucking happening, I was like, why the fuck did we do this all these years?
Yeah, that's funny. The almost like news or like almost sex scene or almost vulgar scene. How you gotta wait, this may be something.
Like,
but after you saw it wasn't. Why did you still make me do it?
Yeah.
Later times we watched the movie.
Just letting you know what's happening here.
Yeah, man.
I'm pretty sure I got all y'all beat because my dad would actually still does actually. Yeah, he actually still does. He like is so against language, like profanity, that he will actually mute the TV. Like if there's like a scene, but what makes it so insane is like you don't know the script, so
that's so funny.
Like
you don't have the captions on, like to know.
I mean, that's what I'm wondering.
Okay, so this is
you looking at facial expressions like when they calm down. I'm about to turn this shit back on.
But no, so okay, so an example would be like somebody says a cuss word and then he'll mute it real quick. The logic is okay when one person curses, it's gonna be like a thing, I guess. But that's not always
frenzy.
the case.
It's gonna be an all-out war.
Yeah,
but sometimes they do be unnecessary. F just be saying it for no reason. Like this movie don't have to be like this.
And I agree. Sometimes they do put language and imagery in movies that doesn't make it better. It's just purely for
shock or something.
Pizzazz, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, but it's like, but for me, it's like, why not just watch something else? Like, if like you're gonna do that, just watch something that you know he's not gonna have that.
Adam, so so you're saying that he does that like when he watches it himself, or he was doing that to like hide it from you being young?
Yeah, like with the kids and stuff.
Oh,
like
okay.
Yeah, but I feel like I want to say I was there like maybe like Thanksgiving a few years ago. I feel like he did it then. I'm almost positive. So I don't know. But
dang.
And for me,
now
it's like,
go ahead.
No, I would say for me, like I would much rather like if you feel that way about profanity, dude, let's just watch a documentary. I'm good with that. This is
don't watch theatrical portrayals.
That's what's funny.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like now that I think about it, my dad used to actually turn away, like turn to something else, and then like just be thinking like, I'm sure like in his mind he was like, damn, that was a good movie. Like I'm about to, because he will always turn back. He will always turn back to the movie, and I'm like, can we just watch it? Like we both agree that this is a great movie. But we're gonna turn away when it's, too raunchy or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
I just
both know we want to watch this movie.
Yeah, like the whole Larry family agrees this is 5-star movie. Can we just watch it? Come on.
Yeah. My dad was.
Dude, I remember being disappointed. I couldn't go see Titanic with my fam, man. When Titanic came out, I don't know why, but I was so as a youngin'. How old were we? Born in '89. That came out at what 98, so like 9 years old. I remember being so disappointed. That's the thing that sticks out in my mind is Titanic. Like, this could be the greatest shit ever. Y'all gonna keep me away.
I missed what you said, like the first part.
Yeah, I said like I was held back from seeing. I had to stay home, and the family went to see Titanic because I was too young. I was like 9 years old.
There's that one news scene.
I'm like, yeah. It was like with Johnson.
Trying to go back
later. Yeah. I'm like, this is the shit I need to be. I like art. Y'all know I should be inspired by this shit. This is how I need to be seeing, if anything.
Yeah, my mom had rented that. It was tapes.
Yeah, that's
long, bro. I don't know why that stuck out, but I was just like, that was like the beginning of me like, oh, okay, so there's gonna be a lot of shit that I can't see from here on out. If Titanic is the thing on, then there's gonna be a lot of shit. I'm gonna miss a lot of fucking good movies, man. Damn.
This is a historical
pretty much right. For your cinema. Your cinema.
Yeah. My bad, Josh. Go ahead though.
No, you ain't got nothing to apologize for. I was saying my dad was complete opposite. My dad was reckless. He was
Make it sound like Bruce Willis in Die Hard.
So I'm saying like he didn't care about like that protective shit at all. Yeah. Anytime I walked in the room, he was like, what's up, man? You got the pubes yet? Like,
oh, that's great, dude. That's like, great. I feel like it's good to have that balance, though. You know?
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
Even though I'm sure my mom didn't feel like my mom didn't like having to be the stern parent.
Yeah.
Because what happens is the fun parent kind of gets away with everything.
Of course.
So I'm sure she didn't care for that dynamic, but she was better at it. So
yeah, man. Just follow into that. But yeah, dude, your pops, I can co-sign. Your pops was super cool, man. Super
funniest dude I know.
Yeah, man.
I wonder if, like, say there were two parents that was like that had like a looser, like, you know, they kind of just lived their lives and, you know, and they weren't too like protective in that way. I wonder, like, in what way that would or could affect a kid. Like, would they? Because society would have us think that, oh, you know, you're supposed to be like set a good example and not curse and not show them. But I wonder if that actually matters or not. Like
I'm sure there's plenty of cases of people that, you know, live in looser circumstances or their parents aren't necessarily like overprotective or sheltering and all of that kind of stuff. Those kids grow up to be fine. I think those kids tend to grow up a little more agency. Because they have a sense of freedom that they didn't necessarily have to earn. They felt entitled to.
Which sometimes it's like a lack of. Sometimes people need to see that there are consequences to everything you do,
right? And
they don't always get that aspect. I feel like
it's kind of a like other end of the spectrum thing. Like I think, kids in our situations, we got a very basic lesson of life is every choice has a consequence.
Yeah.
Like regardless of whether or not it's going to be good, bad, or horrific, every choice has a consequence. And there's some people who grow up thinking that consequences can be inconsequential, as contradictory as that may sound. Like just because there's a consequence doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to suffer that bad. It's like, oh, it could be. Everything can feel like a pat on the
slap on the wrist. Yeah,
slap on the wrist. I could not think of that phrase at all. Pat on the hand.
You got 3 backups. You got 3 backups there. No, I've definitely known several people. I agree. I mean, I don't know anybody who has like the perfect balance, of course, but I agree with that aspect. But at the same time, it's happened enough times. I feel like where the kids who grew up with parents who were like Adam was saying, seemingly were the ones who did everything right and made sure you got punishment for every little thing and you were sheltered from this thing and that thing. Like people go too far with that sometimes. Like maybe I needed a little bit of experience too. And that's where the person who grows up a little more free and loose doesn't have to worry about that. Like they get to think on their own a little bit and say, okay, I make that decision on my own. I saw the outcome and now I learned directly from myself instead of being sheltered from that shit. And I don't know how to achieve that perfect balance, but I'm trying to think of like who, maybe Katie. I feel like her mom did it. I mean, I would see her mom. Shout out to both of them, by the way, her and her mom.
Shout out to Katie. Shout out to Gigi.
For real, man. Yeah, for real. Her mom did a lot for me. So,
great.
But even when she tried to discipline her, at some point it got to like Katie was like, "No, this is not. You're not. No." It's just like at some point in her life, like she would try to discipline her and stuff. And her mom, Katie would just be like, "No." Literally would just say no. I'm like, "All right, good talk. Let's go do what we're gonna do." Like, that's good talk. So like maybe when she realized like she could cut back a little bit. By that point, it was like, come on, man, you don't actually mean it. It's not happening. Like I already have enough freedom. I already do everything on my own. I have my own job, I'm getting my own place. Like she already had that level of independence she felt or was working towards that. And she saw that it was working for her. So it's like, what you've given me out, like in her mind, to some degree, and maybe not, let me not put words in her mouth, but to some degree, it seemed like she was like, you gave me this freedom, but to some degree, it seemed like she had done almost everything herself anyway. You know, like, and like maybe she had the freedom to choose and make up her own mind and figure things out. Of course, her mom paid for everything, and of course, a lot of that. But like, she had a lot of freedom to make decisions on her own as well. So, anyway, that's somebody who kind of stands out to me, who I knew closely for a while. So. I saw kind of how it turned out to her. So definitely some good and some
closely for a while. In a crucible sense.
Shout out to her, man. But like she was like a perfect example, I feel like, in this situation, you know? Kind of like where her mom could.
You're like, no, I don't know.
She wasn't a perfect example. I'm just
no, it's like I used to be like, damn, dog, how? Like I just many a times I'd be around and be like, yo, my aunt would never let me do this shit. How the fuck are you able to do this? How do you already have this? What do you mean you've been there? What's going on? Damn. So it makes you think, you know.
I always saw stuff like that as fascinating. Like if I was at a certain friend's house or out in public or whatever, and I saw like a dynamic between parent and child, and I'm like how are you able to do that? Perfect. I'm not gonna put his name out there, but we have a mutual friend that like he would be so like off the wall around his mom, into his mom. It was just like like what? Like but, yeah.
I'm laughing because I know exactly what you're talking about.
and then like obviously I spent a lot of time at Josh's house, and I spent a lot of time around his mom, and his mom reminds me of my mom, you know. Very, nice, pleasant, just pleasant women, like and the person's mom that I'm speaking of, also very much so. It was just very funny how their relationship was, because they were both kind of like high energy ish. I mean, him more than her, but it was just an interesting relationship.
They seem to have like a roasting type of. It was a really playful relationship.
Yeah. It was respectful, but it could also be like a little disrespectful at times too.
According to our mothers, extremely disrespectful. But for whatever reason, they had built this like dynamic with each other that you're like, okay, she doesn't seem to take any of this shit to heart.
Yeah,
that he is fucking wilding.
I thought you was about to say me. I'm like, I know there was a couple times y'all were around when I was definitely getting a little out of control, man, for sure.
No, you ain't got shit on this.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. Gotcha.
But if knew it had to be Aaron.
Like, well, we got this brief intermission real quick. This brief lull. Let me go ahead and pop this camera.
Great time for our sponsor, man. Whatever that is.
Yeah.
No,
that would be a good way to
start
start
us,
an
man. Whole Foods ain't paying us yet.
some Sam's Club pop. Brought to you by Shasta.
It's Whole Foods over here, dog. It's 365, baby. We got that WFM, son.
Are you feeling sick? Do you have COVID? Jarrell. Jarrell will solve
COVID.
any of this shit.
Brought to you by, what's that? Everwoods?
Wildwoods.
All 50 flavors.
Man, I haven't had Wildwood in.
Man, Wildwood pop.
Where do you even get that from?
Can you
or
still
that don't exist anymore?
They got that in the back room at Aldi.
I feel like
I don't know if y'all been over in Miller, but they tore down Ralph's.
Yeah,
it's like fully gone now.
Okay, it was closed.
It's been closed for like
ago.
ever.
Yeah, like, it was closed when they closed that Dairy Queen across the street. I used to love going to that Dairy Queen, man.
Yeah,
that shit was a real sad moment for me, bro. Growing up.
Yeah,
and I pulled up to that. Was one of y'all with me? I pulled up to the Dairy Queen one time, and it was like, because it looked like they were fixing it up, and it was like somebody like living in there. It looked like an office. It was like they were trying to make it an office or something. Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
I was about to make an order real quick.
Try to get that cherry dilly bar.
Giving them fucking cherry dilly bars, man.
Dude, Russell and I used to fucking ride our bikes from the crib to the fucking Dairy Queen off of like Ripley Street, crossing the highway.
Ripley,
that's crazy.
Just to get a box of that cherry dilly bar, and I eat that shit by the time I got home, bro.
Like,
I remember going with you and you getting like 5 of them, and
yeah. And the fucking dog would chase us every time we turned this one corner. There was the same dog that would test your endurance every fucking time. Man, that was scary, bro. It was worse than crossing the fucking highway like idiots.
It sounds like a video game from like the 90s or something. like you gotta ride your bike. Like you gotta ride your bike to the ice cream place and then avoid all these obstacles.
That's that GTA 3 level.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro.
Eye scroll. Man, my dad used to bring us dilly bars. That was one of the things he that I remember, like he always used to do when I was little. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, what other stuff do we got? Because I have a memory like that where I think I was in elementary school at this point, like maybe like kindergarten. Is kindergarten when you have a lot of half days, or do you have any full days in kindergarten? I can't.
We had it all through elementary school, didn't we? Well, not that many, but
sometimes half days.
I remember them being unnecessary half days. I'm like, why are we having a half?
There was a morning class and then the
you're right.
Class.
Yeah, I'm like,
it was
necessary.
It was.
Some of those half days were stupid. Like we wouldn't.
Yeah, like why?
It would kind of be cool. Sometimes it would just be like come to school to say what's up and then be off.
It was a different energy. Like, wasn't the energy different on half days?
It definitely was.
Yes.
It was like
absolutely.
Bro.
This is not real
gonna be there all day.
It was like, especially like
just showing up for something.
What like the half days, like, but when like the weather was starting to heat up. So like when you went to school, like you had to have a jacket on, but when you got out of school, you didn't. But like that time of the year was like, I was like premium school year because like the school's letting out soon. So
spring has sprung. Yeah. Bro. I remember coming home just about every one of those half days. My aunt would have tapioca pudding on the table waiting for me, and I would go out on the balcony. I'd go out and eat it on the balcony.
How old are you?
Dog, what you, bro, that shit was such a fine memory, bro. They'd be like, yeah, I walk in and she have that face. She give me that look like, I know what you want. It's waiting. Yo, turn that corner and see what you got. And,
fucking senior citizen. I know what you
I
want.
would eat that.
Got that tappy.
Got that tappy.
That sound like you went to. I sound like you went to school in Orange County or something. Coming home and putting on the table.
I would go eat it on the balcony, and then I would watch Darkwing Duck. Man, that was some of my fondest memories, bro.
That's hilarious. It wasn't like, oh, we're going out for ice cream. We got,
man.
Jello pudding pop. No, tapioca, nigga. That's yeah. Okay.
Yeah, bro. And Darkwing Duck, come on, man. Can't be the only one.
Hey, I gotta tell you the truth. I don't remember much about the cartoon, but the theme song.
Yeah. Oh, well, the theme song is fire for sure. DuckTales, all that. They kind of came. Chip and Dale came on all at around the same time.
Yeah,
it's great.
Theme songs rampant in my brain. A single episode, no idea.
Well, what y'all got? What you, Josh, you and Adam? What y'all got? You remember any memories like that growing up? Where
particular fond memories.
Like particularly where like they got you ice cream or food, or obviously not pudding, but something else for Josh. Anything else for Josh? Make him feel young. Come on.
I don't know. I remember I really fond memories of. I might have brought this up before. The place over by Lake Dunes Beach, where what was the name of the art center that used to be back there?
I know what you're talking about because Billy used to work there and a couple of friends, but I never remember what it was called. I never really. It was right on the beach though, like right off of the beach.
Yeah, right on the beach. I used to go there all the time. But there's a pizza place over there, Ono's.
Oh, you talking about right down Lake Street?
Yeah,
the spot that used to be like a military base, and it was a bunch of stuff.
But then it got turned into like an arts building around the end of it.
Mm-hmm. Weiss and them used to be over there too.
Yeah, it was a charter school at one point, right?
Yeah, my sister.
Yeah, that's what the big prison on 20. That's what it used to be.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But what was it? Ono's. I remember how special I used to feel when the lady that used to work there that looked like Jay Leno. She eventually got used to us, and we used to always get an extra large pepperoni and sausage pizza. And because we ordered it so much, I one day was like, "Hey, this is can I just make this the usual order? So like, if I call, can I just go order for Ishman?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." And so like being able to have like that exclusive thing, I felt like real special. Like being able to call in like order for Ishman, she's like 20 minutes. Like,
yeah, I actually remember that too myself. Obviously, we hung out all the time.
Right.
I remember that order for Ishman.
Mine was like that with Wing Hua. I would get that. It was like the special K. It was like some orange chicken or orange beef or something special.
Wing Hua, the one on Lake Street or the one on 20?
No, Ming Ling's is Lake Street. Ming Ling's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ming Ling, I had a bad experience, man, when I went in there.
I've seen too many times, bro.
Yeah, his last days, it was
too many roaches, man.
It needed to leave.
Yeah.
It was so bad they knocked the building down. This memory won't even last. Like,
am I the only person that was always confused as to why it was so dark in Wing Hua?
It was dark. That's why the roaches loved it in there.
Like, no, not Ming Ling. In Wing Hua.
Oh, I thought Ming Ling was dark.
Yeah. It is dark.
I know you're talking about. Yeah, it is. I guess that's just the.
It's like romantic.
Like
it's super romantic.
Yeah. They would keep the sun out. Like it would be a bright sunny day, and like they have all blackout curtains like on all the windows. Like
I ain't gonna lie, I think they family lived there, man, because they got like some
I don't doubt that.
They got some booths that just like permanently they're in. Like
yeah, that's pretty common. That's actually pretty common for a lot of Asian. Not to put everybody in a box or anything, but I do know that is pretty common.
I would do it,
business
but
owners
not
in general,
forever. I wouldn't do that forever.
Yeah,
For
like
me, it
when you
depends
get
on
it
what
up and
type of
running.
business it is. If it's a food place, I'm not living there because I just don't want to be associated with that smell. Just like I would want to. It depends on the business.
Have y'all ever wanted? Sometimes I see these like apartments above the restaurants, and I'll be thinking like that would be so dope just to live above like your favorite spot, like when you see in Chicago, like
all
it's
the time.
apartments right above the spot. I always think like, dang, they just come down there like it's your bottom floor or whatever.
Like you get some like fire pole in the back, you can just slide down and be right there.
Then right into the lobby,
like a loft. Yeah. That's my loft up there.
I always do wonder about those kind of spots because no matter where I've looked, and this is just my own ignorance, I never know how the fuck people find the listings for these places.
That's what I always think. Like, how do they get that? They got to know somebody. Like,
I wonder if those are.
Or they just sitting squatting or something.
Those got to be the listings that you see on like telephone poles, like they used to do. You know, like, it's got to be because like it's got to be like a local like telephone pole, or they maybe like a Craigslist type of thing. But
I'm telling you, I've lived several places in this fucking city. I've never seen a listing for any place that's literally over a business.
Yeah,
like whether it's a clothing store, restaurant, what have you. I'm like, I only ever see listings for other shit.
You see a lot of stuff. You definitely see a lot of stuff like that in big cities. But one of the things I find very interesting about, really, I mean, I could just say just the Asian, like a lot of Asian big cities, they build a lot of upwardly. So it'll be like you said, there will be like a restaurant on the first floor, then there will be 3 floors of a living space, and then there will be a gym on the top floor, and then there will be like 2 more floors of something. And then
office area and just
it'd be completely random businesses in the same building. Like I remember,
I dig that idea. Actually.
Yeah, I remember
less land.
There's this barber you used to go to when I was in Korea back in like 2015, but it was on the 5th floor. It's just randomly on the 5th floor. I don't know. It's interesting.
Hey, y'all know
that sounds cool.
My bad.
No, you good.
You know those the buildings in Chicago that's like kind of cylinder, but at the same time it's like a
the
round little.
Yeah.
That's
those are my favorite buildings in Chicago.
So I was watching. Is this dope PBS thing where they talk about all the architecture in Chicago?
Oh, dope.
Man, I want it so bad. But they were talking about that. That building was designed for that. What you're talking about, Adam? Like one a neighborhood, built into.
Oh yeah.
So you park there. They got a restaurant, and it's that same kind of idea.
It's a good way to not take up so much land. I think that's the next. That's what we see more of that in new generations.
Yeah,
man, that's.
I feel like they said they were experimenting with that back then, and that was like the first type of place in Chicago, at least that did that, followed that.
That's dope.
Send me this stuff because I don't know what you're talking about.
You're talking about the Marina Towers, those 2 buildings. They're right next to the House of Blues.
They're like beige.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
They're a cylinder, but they have these round type of patios or whatever,
rotundas or something like that.
Yeah. I love those buildings. I always thought they were cool. That's interesting that you mentioned that you were saying that they built them originally, like to keep it where you like you could do everything in that building, so you could park, you could work. I guess.
Yeah.
That's interesting because. So I went back to school for urban planning, and I'll be real quick. I'm not gonna be a nerd, but
so please feel free, sir.
So we like this.
So obviously in big cities, we know traffic is a huge issue. And I've been thinking like, man, how do you get congestion to like, how do you fix that? And most people say build bigger roads, but they've been doing that for decades, and all it does is it doesn't.
If you come to the South,
help.
There's 7 to 8 lane highways, and they don't do anything.
Look at Texas.
They don't do shit.
Yeah. Houston has I saw it today, actually, randomly. They have a 28 lane highway in Houston. And
That's wild.
Yeah, and it's the biggest highway in the world, actually.
It's gotta be 28 lane. Goddamn.
And but the point I was making was like, wouldn't it be? I think one way to
you could be getting over for like 5 minutes.
I know, what the fuck?
Like, hey, like, please, my exit, bro.
It's not like connected. Like it's like one. It's like elevations, and it's different. But that's still
my bad. I had to.
That's very funny though.
Had to get that joke off.
That imagery was just in my mind. Like, damn, I can't get out.
Yeah, no. Let me start getting over now. Let me go ahead and start this transition now.
6 miles early.
But no, I was saying, like, I think it would be cool if they started building cities where they were built for you to work in that city, because the reason why there's so much traffic is people are driving from the suburbs to the city and from the cities, and it's all this inner, But if you build where people can work, shop, do everything in that one vicinity, I mean, it would give people less reason to drive 80 miles a day, to and from work.
Yep.
Honestly, I think that's what the idea was when they were trying to build these cities, but it's like a social economic thing to it. Like,
right,
the class system, they don't want like regular workers to live in these prime places.
Yeah,
ain't gonna be able to,
yeah. Well, what happened was, that's true. Like you said, like they built cities for people to come to them and work. But what happened was people was like, well, I want space, so we're gonna develop this area outside the city. Also, I don't want to be in the city with these colored folks, so I'm gonna leave the city and I'm gonna build my suburbs, and we're gonna do that. And then all of these suburbs, form outside of the city. So now you have this traffic coming in and out, and now it's creating this, madness. It's just, unfortunately, I just don't see it. I don't think all that traffic issue. I don't know that it's an issue you can really fix. To be honest with you, I don't know how, because the only way to fix it is to get people off the roads, which is impossible.
You just gotta move to Montana. Move to the mountains,
like some of the more progressive cities, I feel like, have improved their public transportation, especially outside the U.S. Adam, you probably would know more than us.
The issue with public transportation is, it's not even public transportation. It's the stigma of taking public transportation. Like, people think taking public transportation is like a bad thing. Like, oh, you're poor, you're broke, you don't have a car. But it's like, if more people took public transportation, it would obviously keep people off the roads, which would free up, space. But people look at public transportation in America as a lower class thing.
Shout out to Elon Musk trying to make the transportation quick. So I mean, I think that would change.
Hyperloop.
Yeah, that would change a lot.
I mean, I think that also depends on the city you in, because because the unfortunate side of public transportation, not even looking at it like, just on the social aspects that Adam pointed out, is if you're not in a big city, your city does not care. No one who rides the Gary bus system relies on the Gary bus system.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, obviously that the congestion issue is in big cities, and of course, if they
absolutely.
And if they did try to get more people on public transportation, then of course they would have to revamp public transportation, because it would not work in the way it operates now. If people just started taking it out of nowhere, it wouldn't be a pretty sight.
It would fail, definitely.
Yeah,
you gotta get more folks on bikes too, man. When you can.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
people gotta stop stealing them, man.
Yeah, I guess everything's not the Pacific Northwest where you can, I mean, they perfected that, but it's just, I'm just like, they have like paths and stuff. They have paths and shit where like it would make it more accessible to get that exercise if you want and get to your destination and not be on the main roads and shit. So hopefully that could be a part of it too, man. I feel like a lot of places are building things like that. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was saying, I actually saw something where it's like, I don't know where it is in the world, but some country, maybe somewhere in South America, but some country. So obviously we know how our roads are, where it's like we have the roads, and some you might have a bike lane, then you have the parked cars, obviously, and then the sidewalk. Well, they did this thing where they took the bike lane and they swapped it with the parked car. So it's like you have the roads, the parked cars, then the bike lane, then the sidewalk. And what they found out was people started riding bikes way more because they felt safer. And they were saying the reason why a lot of people don't ride bikes is they feel unsafe being right next to traffic. True. But if you have that barrier of parked cars and the sidewalk, you're kind of safe from traffic.
Yeah.
So sacrifice them cars.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Very, dog. Like there's like a path in Atlanta that used to be like a railroad, and like they're trying to make it just want to be one big circle where it wraps around the whole city. So essentially, it could be your main portion of your commute to anywhere you're going, and then it might be a couple miles after, like, and it's kind of similar to that. Yeah, it's a big loop that allows you to get to ideally anywhere for most of your ride. Yeah, and it's like and there's like shopping and plants and all kinds of shit like that. Like it's like an educational aspect with nature as you go through, and then you also have like places to shop and eat and all of that.
Yeah. Does Chicago have a line that does that essentially? That just goes around the center of the city.
It's called the six.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's about 3-4. It's about the L is the whole train system. And there's about, I want to say 3-4, possibly 5 trains. Every train is going to go through the loop, but about 3 or 4 actually hit all the points that make the loop.
Oh, okay,
gotcha.
Yeah, I know, that's interesting. I know in Seoul they don't have anything like that. It's just one line. I think it's the green line. It just circles the city, and it just hits all the hot spots in the city, which that's why it's the busiest line. I hated taking it, but it's so convenient to take because it hits all the the spots. But it was always super crowded and just chaotic.
Well, this used to be did I mention that it used to be a railroad? So now it's like a walking, biking path. Some people.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Some folks take like it's a way to walk or bike essentially, or they have those little birds and shit. But it used to be a railroad system. Yeah,
I saw that on PBS too. They were talking about how they were trying to turn like old
Highline's in New York.
Okay, yeah,
Highline's New York. Yeah, this
is that what
the
that
belt
was?
line. It's called the Belt Line.
The Belt Line. Okay, and they made that like a walking, biking type thing. Yeah, they were. I guess they were trying to knock it down or something, and then they made it into that.
Yeah, it was like it was like a big railroad track that they like were slowly getting rid of, and they were building like skate parks and big parks and like shopping and all that shit. So that it could take up most of your commute to wherever you're trying to go can be on there, and then you have to do less Ubering or whatever other form of transportation you would need to get to where you need to go. But it was a Georgia Tech student.
Okay, go ahead.
No, go ahead. It was a thesis for a Georgia Tech student, like his final thesis or whatever. But I think he had gotten it. He had gotten inspiration from like New York or other places, maybe even overseas.
Okay,
Paris. My bad. Yeah, Paris. Thank you. He got.
Are you riding the MARTA like that?
No, I'm not, man. Where I used to work, I used to bike a lot, or actually walk to work a good bit because I was close enough. Now, if I rode the MARTA, I would get to work like 3 or 4 minutes late every day just because of the timing, unfortunately. So
is it like on an actual schedule, or is it just come periodically?
No, it's on a schedule.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Yeah. Word. Like where I would typically get on from here, I think most times, is correct me, Natalie, it runs every hour, right? A new one comes every hour or so. Or I'm sure 10 minutes, my bad. They'll come every 10 minutes. Yeah.
Okay, so it just comes periodic. Okay. That's what I was wondering. Yeah. Like if it's every hour. Because you know how like South Shore.
Clearly I ain't rode it in a while.
Like South Shore, like comes like it's 317, 425, like it comes like at a time.
Yeah. Oh, but this is every 10 minutes.
If you're out here, you're just getting on the blue line, like it's gonna come every 10 minutes.
Yeah. And actually, man, that's one of the things I heard when I first moved down here was I was just talking to several different people, getting to know people from different like working environments, their friends, whatever. And we were talking about, you know, where you from? Oh, Northwest Indiana, close to Chicago, whatever. And they were like, well, this commuting, like this infrastructure is nothing like Chicago. And I slowly learned that they're still trying to figure out that public transportation. That's one of the first things I heard when I got here, you know. So I think slowly, for the most part, that they have this the fuck is it called? That goes downtown, but only homeless people sleep on it. What is it called? Yeah, the tram. There we go. I can't remember the name of this thing, but like they put crazy amounts of money in this thing, and it makes sense. It makes sense. Yeah, they put crazy millions of dollars into this thing, and no one rides it. It's like only homeless folks, which I would do it too, of course. It makes sense. But like, so either people aren't utilizing it, they're not doing it right. Folks don't know enough about it. Folks frankly don't. I think it was free, actually. Yes.
Yeah, I'm assuming if it's the top choice for homeless folks, I'm assuming it
must be free.
Or free-ish.
Yeah, like it's just it could be just several things, but also Atlanta's downtown is not really Atlanta's downtown is nothing compared to Chicago's downtown. Like it doesn't even compare.
I mean, it's a much smaller city though.
Yeah, but it's
only like what 400,000 people, 500,000.
In it, well, no. It's look that up because it's a good amount of people in Atlanta, but
a lot of people
look it up.
falling in the.
Look it up. I don't have the facts on that. So
sometimes it'd be like the whole area, and then hold on.
But I'm just saying, like in general, like it's just not bustling like that. So it's another reason for folks to not go down and like not use this thing that mainly runs downtown.
500,000.
Yeah, got you. Well, shit, you got me. I guess it's a good
that
thing.
Was on point.
I'm not.
Yeah, I was like, I don't. You got that real.
Hey, that was that double jeopardy. Right there. How much did you wager for that?
I just like stuff like that.
I do too, though. I'm with you.
Yeah. So you talking about Atlanta? That's 500,000, and Chicago is almost 3 mil. So yes, it would be a lot more.
Yeah, but it's no, not even just because of that. It's not that much.
Atlanta downtown.
Not that appreciate it. It's just I'm trying to get this point across to them. Yeah, without enough facts. I'm sorry, dog. But like,
it's the Braves
it
Stadium.
It makes sense. I mean,
it's another reason to like not go down there and use the facilities that you would need. Everybody a lot of folks just drive.
It's like well, that's the problem there because they drive in situations.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, it's just a newer city. I mean, Chicago's been, developing, if you want to use that word, for over 100 years. So it makes sense that it would be the massive giant that it is. Versus Atlanta has been, a metropolis for what, like 60 years?
Yeah,
maybe.
And more people are coming. Like they're predicting a bunch more folks coming in like the next 10 years or so. So hopefully they can kind of, get that downtown bustling again. I mean, there's certain things that like the Coca-Cola, you can go to Coca-Cola and get the tour and shit. You can go to the aquarium and stuff, but it just doesn't compare to.
You could become a rapper.
Yeah. That's to become a rapper. Yeah. I mean, they have like a Ferris wheel that's like overly priced Ferris wheel. Like,
they should have rapper colleges there.
If you got good technique,
they got the Trap Museum.
Yeah, they do. They do, bro. They got this. They also got some wonderful mural of Andre and Big Boy. Oh my gosh, it's incredible, man. That's incredible.
Most top tier strip clubs in the world.
That's what I've heard.
Motherfuckers ain't go. They go there and wherever else they're going. They go right past the downtown to get there.
Gay Mecca. Like Atlanta's got everything.
Yeah, I'm like a block away. I'm kind of in the heart of it. I'm like a block away maybe from that Mecca.
No shit.
From that
word.
From that Mecca.
From that paradise.
Talking about it as like the Black Utopia.
Yeah. The new Harlem, if you will.
Them. Sorry, that was horrible.
It's definitely cool, man. When y'all come down and check it out, for sure we'll go on that path.
Yeah, I love to, man. Like I went there one time.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I went there once, and it wasn't even to even go there. That just happened to where we slept, but we went to go to Six Flags.
Oh, got you.
So,
there is,
and we just happened
like
to
20 minutes away.
Yeah. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah,
but like a lot of places, like let's say, like Nat and I, where we are, we would have no real reason to go downtown unless we said, I'm gonna go to Coca-Cola and get the tour. I'm gonna do like the touristy things. Otherwise, you're walking distance from everything, essentially, that you would do. Big park, movies, restaurants, whatever. So a lot of people don't feel like the need to even go downtown.
So is there downtown? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'll just say if you live here, if you're not like a tourist, you know. So go ahead, bro.
I was gonna ask, is there downtown more like a business, financial like there's no like restaurants, clubs, or is it?
It's not really a social area. It's more.
Yes, that's a good way to say it. Well, that's a good shit. That just shows you how. And I worked downtown a good bit. Like I took care of a lot of the trees, planted, maintained with a lot of the green spaces downtown. How do I say it? I know there's this one building. I think it's like garment district. I forgot what the name of it, but like they'll do a lot of like, let's say you're a new entrepreneur or whatever, and you got like a new clothing line or whatever. You can go there and people will come and you can kind of show off. You get your little booth and you show off like your clothing or whatever you're trying to sell, your product. I know that's like a big thing down there. And they have there's definitely restaurants and stuff, but I feel like more of the attention from what I can see, mind you, from how I'm talking, you could tell that I don't know a lot. but, because I don't have to go. I don't have to, you know.
Yeah, no.
But
I get it.
But like there are schools like Georgia State is kind of downtown, and I feel like most of the attention and shit. The reason why people are even close to downtown like that is because they're living in the dorms and like they're living in the housing that's also downtown, you know, for the school. So
yeah, I was curious because I know like if you go to Miami and go downtown Miami, it's strictly like the police station. You have City Hall. It's just stuff like that. There's no entertainment whatsoever.
Yeah. There's entertainment. It's just not like what you would see outside of like the things I've named already, like the big things that people come to Atlanta specifically for. Where the Coca-Cola, like the main Coca-Cola, whatever, you know, like outside of
the bridge that says Atlanta.
Yeah, it's like I mean, you know, it's cool. I walk on it every so like. There are certain areas though where you take a there are certain scenic areas over this particular bridge that are on a lot of postcards and shit. People love, like I'll drive by and people just be hanging off, well, not hanging off the bridge, hanging around the bridge, taking a picture. So like
hanging off the A of the
yeah. It says like Peachtree and shit, but it's just you have all of that in the little area that you're in, so you don't even really like whatever they would have downtown, you already have that. So yeah. And then you guys are like come visit. Yeah, you got there's no vegan restaurants. Probably safe to say. Probably not too many vegan restaurants.
I thought they was on.
There'd be plenty,
yeah.
Downtown?
Just in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, there's a good bit. Like, I mean, a couple blocks away from me, there's some good options, but that's another reason why I guess I don't have to go downtown. Another reason. So clearly I don't spend too much fucking time outside of working downtown. But there are definitely some rough areas too, bro. Like, so I'll tell you, like they're trying to make it better though, which is like, so I don't know if you guys, I think Marcus, you went to that Van Gogh immersion experience or whatever, right?
Yeah,
in Chicago. So they also had it. They had that, and they also had a what's the dude who burned his own artwork? Banksy. They had that downtown, and they tried to reopen.
Yeah, they had that here too.
Yeah, it's this place called Underground Atlanta. So all these things,
the mall,
all these things used to be like bustling, and it just kind of, you know, in its heyday, it was bustling.
That's what I heard.
Now it's more known as like if you go there, it could be like, you know, so it was like bustling, and then it was like if you go there, you're probably gonna get robbed, shit like that. Now they're trying to reopen it. So like they'll bring people together for like they had that Banksy thing in the underground in Atlanta. And then they also had like on your way walking to the Banksy exhibit, there were new artists who I don't know if they're all local or not, but there are new artists who they gave art studio space to them. So you kind of you're more interested to stop in and be like, oh, who's this new person? Who's that new person on your way to seeing the Banksy exhibit? So they're trying to like do shit like that to revive it a little bit, but it's just smaller efforts, it's just taking a little longer is all, but they're trying for sure. Yeah.
Word.
That's my spiel on that, man.
Well, we got a wrap there. So
postcards from
hope y'all enjoyed this Atlanta tour guide. And
yeah, man.
Hopefully your lives continue to bustle and you don't get your ass busted. And so
I can take you to some good strip clubs. I know exactly where they are though, for sure. The high-end ones, and we can also go to Magic City too.
You ever see?
I can't afford to put nobody through college like T-Pain or anybody like that. But I do want to see like I want to see specifically that trick where one girl is like planked out and another girl is standing on top of her throwing the ass as they twirl down the pole. Yeah, that trick specifically.
Like surfing,
the helicopter,
surfing on another human being.
Yeah, precisely.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, so I don't know shit about downtown clearly, but I can tell you where Magic City is for sure.
We love and appreciate y'all. Fellas, you got any last thoughts before we get out of here?
Yeah, I got one last thought. Speaking of Atlanta, the other day, last week, I drove past Cardi B's house and it's fucking gigantic.
No doubt.
It's incredible. I just wanted to get that off my chest. There's two armed guards at the gate across the street. And like they were like waving me on, like, yo, you standing around too long. Go. Standing with big ass guns outside the gate. It's funny, man.
I feel like security everywhere has the same aura. It's like it's something about it. It's like
I'm just like, bro, you don't own this.
Y'all gotta go, man.
Route.
It's
this
like
is my route. You don't own this
dismissive
road,
energy. I don't know.
I'm looking for like a house. I'm looking for a house to service. Well,
that's funny.
Yeah,
AJ, Marcus, you got anything?
No, that's it. Just that observation about security guards having the same energy no matter where.
Natural bouncer energy.
Yeah. It's very dismissive.
Don't really have anything, man. But thank y'all for watching.
All good. Quick reminders, you can always follow us on InforMILLy Honest on IG, InforMILLy Honest Podcast on Facebook, and InforMILLy_HP on Twitter. We appreciate y'all. We love you. Please hit up our Anchor to sponsor episodes. We will shout you on the podcast, and perks are coming. By all means, if y'all want more, we are glad to start a Patreon, but that's on demand. And so we appreciate all of the whole nest out there. You'll get a better nickname when you fucking tell me you want one. And all right, thanks everybody. Much love. Every connection that you make, every conversation that you have, and every person you engage with, we encourage you, we implore you, and we empower you to be forthright, vulnerable, and always motherfucking honest. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace, y'all.
And you can rate and review on Spotify now.
You can rate and review on Spotify since all them Apple motherfuckers wouldn't do it. No. Everybody, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. By all means, y'all, get on there, rate and review, help us to share with other people, share it on your public people. All right, much love.
Share it on that public. Share it on the public.
On your public. Oh, no.
Thanks, y'all, for listening. Peace.
Without shedding a tear for my brother, I really want to try for my brother. 'Cause I truly do feel for my brother.